Welcome to this special 2014 BSCAI Convention ISSA Trade Show TRIPODCAST. Our special guest today is Eric Harris, who's the Vice President of Sales for Pollock Paper Distribution. And Eric's going to be doing a session at the convention this year on Friday, November the 7th, entitled Solve the Mystery Behind Distributor Fees. So I want to welcome you, Eric, to our podcast this morning.
Well, thank you, Dick. It's good to be here.
This is a kind of an intriguing session because we've not in my years of going to the convention, I don't remember having a topic like this. So this is really an intriguing topic, and I'm kind of looking at some of your bullet points here. And Eric, this is going to be I think, a very interesting topic because we've not had it before, and that I can remember. And I've been going to these things for about 45 years. And I'm looking at your learning objectives. And, you know, one of the things that we talk about, or you mentioned, is unlocking the mystery behind distribution fees. What, coming from a layman, what does that mean?
Well, first of all, I really appreciate the BSCAI for asking me to speak in front of the group this year, and I'm really looking forward to it. And that it's a different approach to really helping people understand what a distributor goes through, specifically when we're faced with the emerging competition of Staples and everybody else that is emerging into our space. So what I'm really going to be getting into in this session, which I hope will be very interesting to the group, specifically the building service contractors there, is really diving into the profit and loss statement of a distributor like myself. One of the things that may be a problem in our industry today is people perceive a company like Pollock, which is a privately owned organization. We've been in business since 1918 as a dinosaur. And what I mean by a dinosaur is, can distributors like Pollock and smaller distributors like Pollock really compete in the marketplace today? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go right down our profit and loss statement. I'm going to show where specific fees come into play as it relates to my profit and loss statement. I'll just call it P&L, to my P&L, and then really give some insight as to what a building service contractor can do in working with me as a distributor to really reduce my cost, which in effect will reduce their fees. You understand what I'm saying, Dick?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And now, because I think that many contractors just they don't understand sometimes that this can be, that a partnership really needs to exist, doesn't it, between a BSC and a distributor?
That's exactly right. I'm going to ask a few key questions on this day. One of them is going to be, is my job is to help you better understand distribution and then provoke you into thinking differently. And unfortunately, Dick, a lot of people in that room probably they'll disagree with me, which is going to be unfortunate. But that's okay. My job is to hopefully inform them about how a distributor today reacts in the marketplace. And, another question I'm going to ask the group is, how many of you want a product at a price? Mm-hmm. And today, that I could get a lot of different answers on that. So we're going to dive into that as well. So my job is really to get the group to understand the ins and outs of distribution and why they incur fees.
That's why I said early on that I don't think we've ever had a session like this. It's always been, so many BSCs and frankly, distributors as well think of it as a them versus us mentality.
Exactly.
And, and we really found when I was in the business, actively running and managing my own BSC business, that I wanted to develop a partnership relationship with my distributor, and we worked very well with them, particularly in about half of the western states that we were in. We had an excellent relationship, and unfortunately, your company was not where I was operating at the time, or we could have explored this opportunity as well.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, but it is. Don't you agree though that many times it's kind of a us versus them mentality sometimes that.
Well, what I'm seeing today in the industry is if you look at big box, people like Unisource Expedex and their new name Veritiv, and you look at people Max and Granger and Fastenal, MSC, and just name the bigger emerging organizations that are coming out today, what they do a very good job with is approaching the national BSC at the highest level. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But what I'm finding and what I'm experiencing in my local markets, which stretch from Texas all the way to South Carolina and North Carolina, is that when it gets right down to the mom-and-pop building service contractor or even the regional service contractor, these guys and gals aren't able to compete in terms of training, in terms of being a resource to the building service contractor. And I'm going to get into that in my spiel because I think it's vitally important to continue to show the building service contractor community that the independent distributor of janitorial products is going to be more of an asset in day-to-day business than some of these big box guys emerging.
Well, I always have indicated that there ain't no free lunch. If I want somebody to come train my people every Saturday, it's going to be in the price someplace, and it has to be, and it should be.
Right.
So, now, you had one other bullet point I wanted to just talk about just briefly, and that was it says, discover how to manage your purchasing to save money. Mm-hmm. Now, you're going to get an awful lot of ears popping up there, when we say we want to discover, manage our purchasing to save money. So
okay.
What are you going to get there? Is it just an extension of what we've been talking about, or is that a different avenue that we'll be going down?
Well, it's really going to be a roadmap on how to purchase to reduce fees that they may be incurring.
There you go. Okay.
For example, if you look, and this is not just Pollock, this is going to be an industry average more or less. Did you know, Dick, that 71% of our orders are below $500?
I do.
Did you know that?
I believe that. I mean, I didn't know that number, but I do believe that. I do.
And did you also know that same 71% of orders only generate 14% of our gross profit?
I did. Well, I can understand why. I can't. In other words, I shouldn't be calling you up and saying, "Can you deliver 1 gallon of floor finish to me tomorrow?" Right?
That's exactly right. Like when you look at our business today, our average order size today is about $600. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when you go down through the P&L, and at the end of the day, what do you think we put in the bank in terms of our net profit, Dick? What do you think that is?
It's not. I don't know. I'm not even going to venture a guess. I'm going to leave that for our audience to work with, and so that'd be a good question for them to answer.
That's right.
In your room. I mean, if we have a few people listening to this, and we hope we do, they probably can come up with a number, and that'd be a great question to ask your audience on that.
Well, it's going to surprise you.
Yeah. Any of you heard our podcast? We asked the question. Now I'm going to ask the question again. What do you think our profit is? And so it'll be that's kind of going to be kind of an intriguing question. I suggest you ask the audience, at the convention. What do you think?
I think that's a good thing. I'm gonna really get into that, and I'm gonna surprise a lot of people because a lot of our customers believe that gross profit that we make on an order is what we put in the bank, mm-hmm. and all gross profit does is pay our expenses. Yeah, so it's an intriguing situation.
Yeah, it's gonna
but getting back to your question, one of the things that is very important for building service contractors to understand, you said it a minute ago, it's very important for a building service contractor to align with one distributor to build order size.
Yes.
So if you see a building service contractor going to me for paper and going to another guy for can liners and another guy for chemical, then all that is doing is reducing order size, which creates no profit for the distributor. But if a building service contractor really commits to one distributor and really works aggressively to understand the distributor's P&L, understands the expense base and how to improve it to reduce his fees, then I think it's going to be a win-win-win for that building service contractor. And I'm going to really dive into that.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, one of the DVDs I do through my company is I've done, and that is how to go through the process of sole sourcing or standardization of your company. And I talk a great deal in my DVD on the need for doing just what you said, and then the process of how to go about it. And so anyway, I don't want this to be a commercial for my DVD. I want this to be a commercial for your session, or a piece of information for this session. And I think this is going to attract a lot of a wide audience, because nobody's really, we've never had this topic. We've never really had a concurrent session talking about this, and I think there are a lot of misconceptions about distributors in the marketplace, and I'll be interested to hear what some of those numbers are when you say what's our profit when it's all said and done. But anyway, so we've probably explored this as well as we should be exploring it, because we want to whet people's appetite, and we want them to come to the session. So, Eric, I want to thank you for taking the time to put some insight into the session that you're going to be doing at the convention. It's going to be, like I say, it's a new topic for the attendees. It's, we've, to my knowledge at least, we've not had one in this in depth. I mean, we've talked about, buy from a distributor versus a manufacturer, that kind of a thing, but we've never had somebody sit down with us and say, this is how to go about it, this is the kind of profit, this is how to build an order, this is, these are the fees, this kind of thing. So, again, thanks so much for your insight. And, again, I want to tell our audience it's going to be on Friday, November the 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon at the Orlando Hilton. And I also want to remind everyone that the ISSA Trade Show is Wednesday through Friday, November 5 to 7. And the BSCAI educational sessions will be on Thursday through Saturday, November the 6th through the 8th. And that's, of course, at the Hilton Orlando. And for those of you that are wanting to attend the bidding and estimating seminar or the CBSE and RBSM exams, they'll take place on Wednesday, November the 5th. So, again, you can register at www.bscai.org and then click on the registration icon. And there's a special benefit for TRIPODCAST listeners, whether you're a BSCAI member or not, you get the early bird registration rate. And the same way with the bidding and estimating seminar, you're going to get the early bird registration rate no matter when you register, whether the registration early bird has cut off already or not. To do that, all you need to do is under the promotional line, put TSD, Tom, Sam, David, and it'll kick in the early bird registration fee. So again, I want to thank our special guest, Eric Harris with Pollock Paper Distribution, and I want to thank all of you for listening today. We'll see you in Orlando in November.